architecture, housed in whatever, whether it was his own dwelling or whether it was the other than that the eating house, whatever it called, on the left side, which is different. But every single space that was, it was related to the work and related to the vision. And third and most important of all, which the poet's vision was that this was to be different, and in which there would be today, 80 years down the line or 60 years down the line, we are talking of equity. This is a model of education with equity where Sriniketan and Shantiniketan were two birds on the same tree. And allow me to be personal for a minute. Some of us within the Ministry of Education fought this tooth and nail when the Central University's Bill of Vishwabharati came into being. Because, and there is a lesson, and IIC has come to see, members have come to see this beautiful exhibition and don't want to hear unpleasant things, but I think they better be heard. Because what happened by separating out Sriniketan from Shantiniketan, you had made an invasion and an intrusion into the vision and the structure of a new and a more viable pattern of education in which the oral and the literate, in which the hand and the heart and the mind and the soul were integrated. You put that into a colonial, a post-colonial model, a structure, and I say this with the director and Professor Menonet's great outstanding educationist, that the moment you put education into these boxed categories of legislative structures, you have amputated, literally amputated. And the amputation of the vision of a Tagore began when, on the one hand, the institution got a national status by being called a central university, and on the other hand, it devalued a resource to which Tagore was not only committed, but it was integral to his vision, and we cannot talk of all his writing on education. And it wasn't that he was looking backwards, and that was the difference of opinion in terms of language issues with Gandhiji, and he was broad-minded and absolutely was a global, universal person writing a universal man. And therefore, this is an occasion, and both Mr. President and our director and others, for us at this point even to reconsider, because the director in her initial remarks said we are also celebrating Kamala Devi in the crowds. What are we celebrating? With no equity established? With us as the empowered to be patrons and not as receivers? And the institution with which I have been connected and Kamala Devi's vision, the CCRT, the Center for Cultural Resources and Training, was after many decades an attempt once again to bring about equity and a balance between the hand and the heart, and therefore the motto of that institution was the thinking hand. I say all this at this point because in our great hype for being global citizens, of being one with whatever quote-unquote world-class universities. World-class. What is that world-class if it is not our class? And this raises very serious questions of identity. And that identity was in the curricula, it was in the manner of the open spaces, it was in the Varshik Utsavs, it was in the integration of the written, the oral, the dramatic, and the architecture. And therefore, his work on Tagore's ideas on architecture and dealing with space becomes so important, because the kind of space that you live in affects you as you affect that space. So with these words, I have spoken already too much, and you will regret having called me, but that is your problem, not my problem. I will conclude on just why I said yes to come to this exhibition. Not as a trustee of the, yes as a life trustee, but more because I am a child of Shantiniketan. No formal student, but I've been nurtured from the age of 6 by Tagore, Nando Babu, Kritish Babu, and a lot. And I have seen Hindi Bhavan, I have seen China Bhavan, I have been made to hold the brush when the Tirupura Congress posters were being made. And it's not memories, it's nostalgia, but it is memories of a vision and a future of India on its own terms, which over these years one has tried to do something with, and today I stand and feel whether the visions of these visionaries and the heroes of our childhood are not being fractured in the race to become global.